Hey, Ritzy Roy here. I want to make a quick video on how to start the original Dark Souls games if you're a new player. So like a streamlined experience to just have fun and just get in and like actually enjoy the game because Dark Souls is incredibly punishing to new players. There's a lot of pitfalls you can fall into if you aren't familiar with what to do. I'm gonna go the cleric class because that's my personal favorite when playing this game, and it's pretty forgiving because it gives you extra heals. I'm just speeding through this. This doesn't matter too much. Um, I'll go curly. Oh, quick side note: the master key is probably the best starting gift if you are new to the game, or just in general, because it allows you to open up a lot of doors and just speeds up a lot of things and just makes the game more streamlined. Most of these keys or these gifts aren't as strong, but if you were to get another gift, I'd maybe say Black Firebomb because it's a really strong consumable item that allows you can I think kill the first boss with it without even using a weapon. So I either go Black Firebomb or maybe I think the Tiny Beams Ring is kind of good. It gives you a small HP increase. The other ones are okay. I just don't mess with them too much. I think it's what we're done, right? It's starting key, build. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, let's go. What's wrong? Oh, I gotta give him a color. Let's go red. Yeah. We'll make him like Roy. Roy colored hair, not Roy colored face. So when you spawn in, you don't have any of your starting equipment and you start off in the asylum. You're gonna want to make your way through the asylum to get your starting equipment. You start off with this broken straight sword hilt. It does horrible damage. There's some crazy people that actually have went and beaten the whole game with it, which you can do it because a big theme of Dark Souls is that weapons in this game, almost any weapon can be made really strong with enough love or the right build. Most weapons in this game aren't just strong when you get them, they're actually strong based off your build and what you do to them. You don't have to rest here. I just rest at this bonfire just in case something goes wrong, and it's just a good habit to rest at most bonfires in this game. There's a few you want to be careful with. There's gonna be a bonfire in a place called I think Ash Lake. You're gonna have to go in this really long tree to get there. And if you rest at that bonfire in particular, you will get like softbox of them. That guy is going to spawn in early and threaten you to fight him. If you're new, don't fight him. Just run past him. Rest at this bonfire. Just get in the habit of that so you can use the shortcuts. And run through here to get your equip. It's faster to do that. And all you have is a straight sword hilt, so you can't really kill that guy in a timely manner. It's just a quicker run past him. You can backstab enemies by pressing, I think the light attack button when you're behind them. RB for me. We got our two pieces of equipment. The mace, and I think it's like a wooden shield or something. I'm not going to mess around with them too much. I'll replace them. I'm going to replace both of them pretty soon. But they're pretty useful for the beginning of the game. Useful tip, you can press Y to two-hand, this increases your damage. If your shield's not too strong or if you're fighting people that you can't block, honestly, I just recommend two-handing. The beginning of the game, you have a pretty garbage shield and these enemies hit really hard, so you can't block most of the stuff they do. You talk to that guy down there to get your Estus Flask, it's your healing item of the game. Ooh. It's gonna be your healing item of the game. Since we are a cleric, we're actually gonna have extra heals. We have a spell called heal excerpt, I think. Or no, that's just heal. Okay, it's gonna be like a healing spell you can cast. Really useful for out of combat healing. Like, let's see. Like, you see how these guys got me low. If I equip my catalyst, or not catalyst, it's a talisman because I'm a cleric. If I equip my talisman, I can press the attack button and cast a heal out of combat without using Estus Plants. I usually use it out of combat because it's way slower than Estus Plants. This guy, you just hammer him. It's a lot easier to fight him when you're close to him. After he dies, he gives you the Pilgrim's Key. You can open this door with it. Just the two first bosses in the game, in my opinion, it's easier to fight through if you just hug them. You just want to like hug and like circle around them, like get as close to them and like fight them, basically. There's a soul item hidden back here. There's also an NPC called the Crow. Sparkly the Crow, I think, or Snuggly or something. If you drop items down in that little pit down there, and then quit and save, when you reload back into the game, she will leave you something behind to use. I don't got nothing good to drop, so I'm just gonna go past that. Okay, for this build, I want to get access to the Lightning Spear, so I'm gonna be dumping points into Faith. We're gonna get around the strength requirements and stuff with a easy trick. We're just gonna get the Reinforced Club. It's a really useful low level tongue twister, low level weapon you can get. Hold on, let's exhaust this dialogue. Typically, you want to exhaust all NPCs' dialogues because you can get stuff. This guy right here, he gives me special. He'll give me cleric stuff, so I'll just talk to him. I just want to take all these. I just wanted to do it. I'm hidden around this spot. I think there's a few consumables. I don't remember all the locations, but I do know the basic stuff. I do believe if we go up this staircase right here, circle around, you can get a quick. You get a quick soul item. I want to kind of stockpile these. Oh, general rule of thumb: you can consume the soul items to get the currency, but I wouldn't consume the items as you pick them up. I just keep them in your inventory and then wait till right before you're about to spend them on something to consume them. Because when you die, you can lose everything. But, you can't lose those soul items if you haven't consumed or spent them yet. So, I just recommend keep them in your inventory. I'm going to do one of the quick tricks of this game really soon. So, if you were getting chased by a lot of enemies, you can save and quit to de-aggro them. Or despawn them, basically. Well, not despawn them, but it'll get them out of their aggression state. I always like to loot this spot, and then I just save and quit once I get the Flyhander. I could have just died because I didn't have anything, but I just wanted to show it off. It's gonna be really useful later on. Saving and quitting is like super good for just spots that are super overcrowded. You get the Winged Spear and this Zweihander. I just want to show those locations because depending on your build, those could be pretty useful. It's not gonna be too useful for me because I'm not focusing too much on strength early on. But some people, if you're going for a knight build or something, or a more traditional build, then those could be pretty good. So yeah, right now we have 59 unspent souls, so we don't really have anything to rest the bonfire for. I'm just gonna pop my first use of my spell. Yeah, I get as a cleric, and we're just gonna go query on dead build. In the early game and throughout most of the game, locking on isn't horrible, but unlocking and walking around is actually easier a lot. Because when you lock on, your roll gets restricted to 4 directions, but when you're unlocked, you can roll wherever you want. And on top of that, a lot of moves in this game don't track super well in like the later titles. A lot of the moves in this game don't track really, really well. So most of the times when people are like hitting you, you can kind of just like sidestep them. You can just literally walk, like take a step to the right and they'll just miss. In my opinion, after playing the game, I think it's low-key easier sometimes just to sidestep a lot of these moves instead of rolling them. Because it's not like rolling locks you into an animation where you can't do stuff. Which is incredibly strong to do. Don't just never roll. But into things where you don't need the iframes. Because the main benefit of rolling is it gives you iframes. If it's something that you couldn't physically dodge by just walking, I would do it. But if you don't need the iframes, then I just do it. And you see, you can also do stuff like that. Like we can just walk behind people and stab them in their backs because you didn't roll. Looting the undead. There's nothing useful in the spot. When you find a new area, it's good just to look around because they FromSoft loves to hide like nice little items in places. Okay, see we got Soul of the Undead. I need a couple of souls for what I want to do soon. So I'm looking to get a item called the Reinforced Club from a merchant town. Oh, I messed up. Wrong in button. The wrong input. See, we can strafe him. I'll let him shoot his arrow. I'll heal. Walk on up here. And I think we 2-tap him, right? Yeah, we 2-tap him. The mace is pretty useful in the early game, I'd say. The cleric in general, I think, has a pretty nice early game for clearing the undead perk. Okay, these guys are kind of tricky because they never put their shields down. You can kick them to force them to put their shield down, like this. And it makes this fight, it makes this encounter a lot easier. If you don't do that, they will literally just strafe you with their shields up and just wait for you to attack. Okay. So here's our first simple power spike of the run. We want to get the, where is it? Reinforced Club. It's a really cheap item, incredibly low requirements, and it also scales pretty, what's it called? It also works pretty well with low scaling too. Just a really nice item to run if you're low level, or if you're not expecting it to shrink. And I think everyone can one-hand it. There might be a class that can't one-hand it, I'm not sure. Maybe the sorcerer, but for the most part, most classes can one-hand that. So I'm gonna rest here, sprint through this little top area, and yeah, we'll kill these guys from the builds. Actually, let's spin a few of these. We have a couple of souls. We can spin. I don't know. We'll dump it into Faith. Yeah, just in case we die. Play it safe. Because you typically want to be spending your souls, so you don't gotta worry about dying. And this spot is a little dangerous coming up too. So do not immediately attack these guys when you walk in. This is an ambush. They're trying to bait you into hitting one of them. Oh, we could leave, or I can try to go back and kill them. I'll kill them. There's a lot of money to kill them all. But yeah, when you're in that room, do not attack him. It's an ambush. There's gonna be a guy that comes through there, and he'll hit you while you're attacking his friend. Let's loot this house real quick. Some chests later on can be mimics, so a good habit is that if you see a chest and there's no enemies around, you can just smack it with your weapon to be safe before you press interact. Because if you interact with a mimic chest, they'll do a move. It'll do like a really, really strong grab attack that can like one-shot you if you're not careful. So it's just safer if you see a chest to just smack it. That one's obviously not a mimic. You won't open it for free, but still, just a safe rule of thumb. Especially if you're new, you're not going to memorize which chests are and aren't mimics. This is also not a mimic, but you see I'll just smack it so we know. This actually is a really good chest. It gives you the gold pine resin. See, the roll is like a dash. If you're not going to be able to physically get away from attack by just the basic walk, then you can choose to roll. That's usually what I do. This part coming up is pretty dangerous. I suck at this. There's gonna be like a flaming pillar that comes down. You can roll to the side, but since I'm not good at rolling to the side, I'm just gonna tank the hit. Just so you can tank the hit if you aren't confident with dodging it. Because if you try and dodge it and you mess up, you can die. So if you have heal like I do, then you can just tank the hit and keep it moving. Our second boss is coming up. Before we fight him, I'm going to make this fight way easier. Climb up here and kill the archers real quick. Alright. So, while we're climbing, let's do some iteming. You can equip the black fire bombs and the gold pine resin. I don't want to use the black fire bombs yet, but just in case, you know, the fight's getting close, you can always use that consumable. For this guy, I like to use gold pine resin. Because coupled with the reinforced gloves moveset, if you get close to him, he's like the Taurus demon. When you're close to him, he's really easy to kill. If you get close to him, you can just wail on him. 3 hits usually stagger too. Oh. Missed my attack. You can make this guy jump off, but honestly, I'd rather just fight him. Yeah, I just like fighting him. Besides, making him jump off is kind of finicky. And I think it's honestly easier if you're starting to just fight him than to try to cheese him. It's kind of weird to cheese him. I think it's easier and more intimidating if we just fight him. I don't want to use to me like unintended stuff in this because your first playthrough, you know, your first playthrough, it's gonna be a little bit hard to do all the like, the weird cheeses and bugs and stuff in this game. It's probably easier to just do stuff the sort of intended way. Which, speaking of intended stuff, we're gonna set up one of the first quests of the game. I'm gonna talk to Solaire. With our faith build, this is gonna be really useful doing his quest line. Say yes to everything he says. He'll give you the white soapstone. I'm gonna just be safe. We're gonna talk to him one more time. Okay. Say yes to everything most NPCs say. We start the Solaire quest, which means at the beginning of most boss battles, we can summon stuff. For this bridge, it's very important that you run and hug the right so you can dodge that attack. I didn't fully dodge. So you don't die to the next flame breath. We're gonna run and hug the right here. Go down here, kick this ladder. This sets up a shortcut so you can get back and forth to the hell. What's it called? I think it's the Hellkite Drake bridge. Okay, 2 more levels and we can get my first power spike that I'm looking for. The Hellkite Drake also sets up a infinite soul farm glitch. Or not, it's not a glitch, it's more of like an exploit. It's kind of intended. So every time you walk up here, he will kill everyone on that bridge and net you an instant 555 souls. Once you rest at this bonfire, they all respawn, including the Hellkite Drake. So you could just keep climbing up and down here, and then farming this Drake for a few souls. I might do that real quick so we can get the 2 extra levels we need. That combined with my soul items, and I should be able to do the next step of the run. What's it cost to level up? Okay, probably like, yeah, 2 more rotations. Just 1 more rotation, that should be good. Okay. So, I'm going to put 2 points into faith. 1, 2. That gives me 25. That's what I want. So, 25 faith. I should be able to join Solaire's, his covenant. Right now, we're in, that guy we talked to earlier's covenant. I forgot his name. Like, the chunky knight at the start of the game that he gave us the golden coin. I think it was a copper coin he gave us. I want to de-aggro this. Not de-aggro. I want to get this Drake off of here because he's guarding a spot we need to get to. So I'm going to make him Flame Breath twice. And I'm going to hide off somewhere safe for a little bit so he can get impatient. This enemy's designed so if you find a safe spot to hide from him, he'll get impatient. You'll know he's about to get mad when he does that little snort thing. Once he gets angry, you can run past him as he jumps down, right to the spot where he's guarding. There's another way to get past him. You have to go underneath him, but that route is kind of a pain in the ass right now, so I just prefer doing this. If you're new to the game, do this. It's way easier. And since we have 25 faith, we can enter this covenant. And get lightning spear. Really strong power spike for our build. It's why I was putting everything into faith and not into other stuff. So I think since we only have we only have one attunement spot, so for now we have to get rid of heal, but it's worth it. Lightning spear is an incredibly strong spell. We can also pick up the claymore from here. I'll do that real quick. Ooh. See, there I could have rolled. I wasn't quick enough to sacrifice that. Focus the ADT, right? Just like League. There we go. Claymore. That's what we want. I don't think I can fully wield it yet, because I need points in dex, right? I need 2 points in dex. Do I have enough? So we could dump some points into dex so we can wield the claymore. Honestly, I don't think we need it. I'm probably just gonna stick with the reinforced club for now. But you could dump some points into dex so you can wield it. I'm just gonna stick with the reinforced club. It's OP. It's really good. Especially for what I'm about to do to I'm gonna show you why we talk to Solaire too. Okay, for this part, you want to be quick, because that gate over there has 2 guys behind it, and they're currently sprinting to the other side to close it. Alright, we beat him. Alright, we're gonna do the aggro trick. Quit and save, de-aggroes everyone, and makes the game so much more bearable when you're getting chased by 40,000 enemies. So quit and save, de-aggro them. See, this guy closed the gate while I was quitting and saving. I'm just gonna open this and then run for my life because that boar is gonna want to kill me. Don't go through the church, it's harder. I'd recommend just taking this path to the right here. Cutting through this spot and... Hey, nice dodge. Oh, slow, someone's got hit there. But yeah, I like to go to this spot on the right. There's a bonfire here that we want to take. It makes this boss a lot more doable. There's also the first blacksmith of the game. We can level our stuff up. I might come down here real quick to level up the reinforced club. Depending on what build or aesthetic you're going for, you can choose different weapons. You don't have to just stick with the club. There's other good weapons. There's weapons with more range and stuff in this game. I like the Reinforced Club moveset because I'm just really familiar with it, but you don't have to just only use the Reinforced Club the whole game. I just like it because I'm just familiar with it. It's a comfort weapon for me. I think like not too long ago, I did an entire playthrough only using the Reinforced Club. I want to reverse my hollowing because I am going to try and use a summon for this first boss. I do believe this is probably the intended method. I'm not sure, but it makes the boss a lot more simple for doing your first time around. So now that we're human, we get access to summons and stuff like that. And since we got done talking to Solaire from earlier, we can go up here and just summon him to help us out with the gargoyles. It'll make it a 2v2 instead of a 2v1. We don't have heal anymore, so we do have to be careful with taking damage before the fight. This guy can be really dangerous. Okay. You want to hit him once, run to the side. Now, I like to de-aggro before I enter this room. You don't always have to. It's not required because it doesn't make it better, but this room's a bit of a coin flip. If you mess up or get unlucky, you can get killed before you run through here. You typically just want to hold shield and sprint and pray for the best. Alright, I'll stand with him. Okay, we passed the point. That room is dicey. I kind of wish they didn't put that super dicey coin flip right before the for like one of your first real bosses. But yeah, the best way to deal with that room is just to save and quit before it, and then just sprint through and hope for the best. Try and react to like what they're doing, and move around because it's not the same every time. They do different stuff. All right, so we're gonna summon Solaire for the first fight. It'll make it quicker and more streamlined, and they are going to be actually 2v1ing us anyway, so it's nice to have an extra guy for them. Hey, Solaire. Here's the introduction of the gargoyles. I think it's random who aggroes it first. I think this time I aggro it first. I'm gonna try and block that attack he missed. Solaire has range-based attacks and also up-close attacks. He's really tanky. A lot tankier than me, actually. So, if you want, you can just sit back and let him fight. I'll help a lot too, because I won't be fair. If you hit these guys in their tails will break off and you get a special. Okay, fight breaks into a 2v2, so let's do our part. Oh, almost messed up. I was close. Almost got cheesed. Alright, hold on, let me heal up. See, this is the benefit of summons right here. If stuff like that happens. So yeah, fight breaks into a 2v2, so we're gonna switch to Lightning Spear while Solaire takes aggro. That was the wrong button. I was trying to two-hand. And we just beat him to death. And there we go. First boss done. You want to, if you're going for this build, it's actually kind of good to summon Solaire for everything you can, because it gives you sunlight modes, which will allow you to increase your rank in his Covenant, which eventually lets us level up Lightning Spear. So if you can summon Solaire for a boss, I would, because it actually makes your life, it's going to make your build so much stronger. And also it does just make boss fights a lot easier too, to summon. You saw they actually made a pretty big mistake. If I was fighting solo, I might have actually died there, potentially. I mean, I probably could have recovered it, but I almost ran risk of dying if I was alone. But since I had Solaire, it was a lot easier to recover a really small mistake that could have cost me the whole fight. This is the first of 2 bells rung in the game. The second one is guarded by much stronger enemies that we'll need better spikes for. Probably, a fully leveled up reinforced club, or just a +5 reinforced club before we go down there, maybe. Maybe some better armor and some rings. Before we go back, there's an NPC down here that we should talk to. Also, keep in mind, I have a lot of souls, so my goal at this point should be to get right back to my bonfire as soon as possible. If it's like League, then you want to get back to base and spend your gold. He sells a Homeward Bone. We'll just buy that with my souls. Karmic Justice. What does that even do? I forgot. Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. Maybe I'll get that at some point. And he sells the Ring of Sacrifice. Pretty nice. If you die, the ring will stay. You won't lose your stuff on death. It's actually pretty good. But we got a Homeward Bone from him. Oh, we already have one in our inventory. So I pop the Homeward Bone, go straight home, and then dump your points into what levels you want. For me, I'm gonna go. We're probably gonna go few in endurance so we can get better armors. Faith's good. Maybe 2 in dex so we can just wilt most stuff. And because there's like I can wilt things with the Claymore now. And maybe 2 more endurance I can wilt stuff. Okay, I'm gonna cut it for here because this was the first part that I wanted to do. For the second video, we're gonna go ring the second bell. I hope you have fun with this game. It's kind of hard to start, but with the right approach, you can make Dark Souls 1 very feasible for a beginner. Anyways, this is Ritzy Roy, signing out.